Use these 4 rules to save you from getting played by the wrong women. You ever just sit by your phone waiting for a message that never comes? Maybe you sent a thoughtful text, shared a piece of your day, and hoped for a response. At first you brush it off, she's probably busy, but deep down it stings. And here's the thing, they don't even say it outright. It's the delayed replies, the vague answers, the sudden disappearances. Slowly, without noticing, you start asking yourself questions like, did I do something wrong? Or, am I not enough? You begin shrinking, not on the outside but inside, quietly. And the worst part, they make you feel like you're the problem. Do you know that these small behaviors, yours and theirs, hold more power than you think? That how people treat you often reflects what you allow. Sounds intense? Good, because it's time to flip the script. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the hidden habits that can lead you into the wrong relationships. I'll also show you how a few small shifts can change not just how others treat you, but how you see yourself. So stay with me, because by the end, you won't just be more aware, you'll be more powerful. 1. If she's not clear, you walk. Ambiguity is a choice, not confusion. When someone keeps showing up halfway, not committing, not rejecting, just hovering in the middle, that's more than just uncertainty, it's a sign. A person who keeps you guessing isn't being mysterious, they're being evasive. Think about that woman who texts you back only when it suits her, who flirts just enough to keep you hooked, but vanishes when it comes time to define things. One day she's warm and sweet, the next she's cold and distant. You keep replaying the last moment of connection like it was a promise, even though no real clarity ever came. There was a period in my life when I was seeing someone who always kept the door half open. She'd say things like, "I really enjoy being with you, but I'm just not sure I'm ready for anything serious." But then she'd want all the benefits of a relationship, the late-night talks, emotional support, even jealousy if I spent time with other women. One night over dinner, I asked, "So what are we?" She looked up, smirked a little, and said, "Can't we just enjoy what we have without labeling it?" I nodded, but inside something cracked. Days later, I brought it up again. "I just need to know if we're heading somewhere." Her response was a shrug. "Why does everything need a destination?" she asked. Eventually, I realized I was in something that wasn't real for both of us. It was real for me. For her, it was convenience. And that's the danger of ambiguity. You get emotionally invested in someone who won't even give you a straight answer. I left that relationship with a painful lesson. When someone wants you, you won't have to keep guessing. You'll know. This is where many people deceive themselves. They confuse mixed signals for complexity. But here's the truth. Clarity is kindness. Ambiguity is control. When someone chooses to remain vague, they're not protecting their heart. They're protecting their options. They want you close enough to benefit from your presence, but not close enough to feel obligated. It's a tactic. It keeps you off balance, doubting yourself, and overthinking every word. You are not here to audition for someone's affection. If she won't give you a clear answer, you give yourself the clarity you need. You walk, you step away from the maybe, from the almost, from the not now but maybe later. You deserve someone who doesn't hesitate to claim you, and when you walk, you don't do it to teach her a lesson. You do it because you finally learned yours. If you keep accepting uncertainty, it becomes your normal. You stop asking questions. You stop expecting commitment. You shrink your needs to fit their comfort zone. Eventually, you start doubting your right to even want more. And when that happens, you're not in a relationship, you're in emotional limbo. A place where your heart keeps waiting for something that was never coming. For a long time, I told myself not to push it. Don't pressure her, I thought. Maybe she just needs more time. But time kept passing, and the confusion stayed. I finally decided to have one last, honest conversation. "I care about you," I said, "but I can't keep doing this guessing game. If you want something real, I'm here. If not, I need to walk away." She hesitated, then said, "I don't know if I can give you what you need." That was my answer. It hurt, but it was honest, and it set me free. The weeks that followed, the pain faded. I stopped checking my phone. I stopped questioning my worth. I started focusing on things that made me feel grounded, whole, alive. I began meeting people who were direct, who didn't make me second-guess their interest. Clarity became my standard. I no longer entertained confusion because I knew what it cost. Don't need to beg for clarity. You don't need to fight for a place in someone's life. If she isn't sure about you, be sure about yourself. Walk. Ambiguity is not romance. It's hesitation wrapped in charm. And you were not made to wait on the fence of someone else's indecision. Choose yourself. Walk with your head high. The right person will never make you question where you stand. 2. Don't fall for words. Watch her patterns, not her promises. Anyone can say, "I miss you." But if her actions don't match her words, those words are just noise. Words are cheap. Promises are easy. Anyone can say the right thing when it benefits them, but it's how they consistently show up that tells you everything. If a woman tells you she misses you, but never makes the effort to see you, if she says she cares but disappears when you need her, understand this: you're not in a relationship with her words, you're in one with her patterns, and if her patterns don't match her promises, you're being played. You've probably heard it before. I've been thinking about you. I still care. You mean so much to me. But then, nothing. No call, no visit, no real presence. She says she wants to fix things, but never actually takes action. She talks about the future, but doesn't even show up in the present. You find yourself holding on to her potential, the version of her that lives in those sweet words, not the version that vanishes when things get real. I was once involved with a woman who could talk circles around accountability. When I pulled away because I felt neglected, she'd suddenly reappear with heartfelt texts. "I miss you. I hate how things are between us. I want to make it right." For a moment, I believed her. We'd talk all night, and I'd start to hope. Maybe this time it'll be different. But within days, the same pattern returned. She wouldn't respond for hours. She'd bail on plans. She'd say, "Sorry, I'm just overwhelmed." But there was always time for Instagram, for her friends, for everything but me. One night, after another cancelled date, I stared at her message. I really want this to work. And I finally asked myself, what exactly is this that she wants? Because it wasn't commitment, it wasn't consistency. It was access. Emotional access when she felt lonely, validation when she needed it, but never the real, steady presence I was giving. That's when I stopped listening to her words and started watching her patterns. And what I saw told me everything. Emotionally manipulative people rely on language to keep you hooked. They use comfort phrases like tools. "I've never felt this way. You're different. I just need time." Not to build trust, but to stall you while they continue benefiting from your presence without committing to your worth. We fall for words because they feed our hope. But patterns reveal character. They expose truth in a way sweet talk never can. Stop evaluating someone based on what they say they'll do. Start judging them by what they consistently do, without being asked, without being chased, without being cornered. It's not rude to hold people accountable. It's respectful to yourself. If her actions don't align with her language, then her language is a distraction. Trust your eyes over your ears. If you keep believing promises without evidence, you'll start gaslighting yourself. You'll explain away her distance, justify her broken word, and question your standards. You'll wait for changes that never come. You'll end up chasing a ghost, loving an idea of her that only exists in your imagination, while ignoring the real behavior in front of you, and that slow erosion of trust will turn into resentment, both toward her and yourself. I reached a turning point when I stopped replying to her "I miss you" messages unless they were followed by action. One time she texted, "I've been thinking about us a lot." I replied, "Actions speak louder than that. If you're serious, let's meet and talk face to face." She read it, didn't respond. Days passed. That silence said more than any paragraph ever could. I finally understood. Her words weren't for me, they were for her. To relieve her guilt, to keep the door open. But I closed it, and something powerful happened. My peace returned. I stopped hoping for promises and started building a life based on what I could see, not what I was told to wait for. Don't let poetry blind you to patterns. A woman's sincerity isn't measured by how deeply she speaks. It's revealed in how consistently she shows up. If her words are soft but her behavior is cold, believe the cold. If she tells you she cares but disappears when you need her, believe the silence. Because in love, consistency is clarity. And you deserve more than promises. You deserve presence, effort, and truth. Watch her patterns. They never lie. 3. Never chase what's not, choosing you back. If you're doing all the reaching out, all the planning, all the care, stop. Real interest is mutual. One of the clearest signs you're being undervalued is when the relationship feels one-sided, when you're always the one chasing. You initiate the texts, you plan the meetups, you check in, you give, and you wait for effort that never comes back your way. Let's be real. If someone wants you in their life, you won't have to remind them you exist. You won't have to perform to be seen. Love that only works when you're the one working isn't love. It's labor, and it will exhaust you. You've probably lived this. You send the good morning message. She doesn't reply for hours, or not at all. You suggest plans. She says she's busy, but somehow always has time for everything else. You share something personal. She barely reacts. You bring up how you feel. She flips it on you. Still, you keep giving, hoping, trying. Deep down, you think if you just do more, she'll finally see your worth. But every time she ignores your efforts, a part of you starts to question your own value. I once dated a woman who made me feel like I was always auditioning. If I didn't initiate, we didn't talk. If I didn't suggest plans, we never met. On paper, she'd say, "I really like you," but her energy said otherwise. She'd cancel last minute, take days to reply, and rarely asked about my life. One day, I decided not to text first, not out of spite, but to see what happened if I stopped carrying it all. A day passed, then 2, a week, nothing. When I finally reached out and asked, "What's going on?" she replied, "I've just been busy. You could have said something." That was the moment it clicked. She liked the attention, not the connection. I was chasing someone who was never choosing me, and I finally put the chase down. When you chase someone who isn't choosing you, you slowly lose yourself. Your standards start bending. Your confidence erodes. You become addicted to the small crumbs of attention they give, mistaking it for progress. But the deeper reason we chase, it's fear. Fear that we're not enough. Fear that if we stop, no one else will come. But here's the truth. The one who's right for you won't need to be convinced. They'll meet you in the middle, without pressure, without games, without delay. Stop chasing people who are perfectly fine watching you struggle for a place in their lives. Real connection feels reciprocal. It doesn't make you guess. It doesn't keep you waiting. If she's not reaching back, you step back. Not to manipulate, but to protect your self-worth. You're not here to prove your value. You're here to share it with someone who recognizes it without you having to perform. If you keep chasing, you'll build a relationship entirely on your own energy. You'll end up drained, anxious, and constantly questioning why nothing feels stable. You'll make excuses for her silence. You'll lower your expectations. And worst of all, you'll teach yourself that love has to be earned with effort alone. That you're only lovable when you're giving more than you're getting. That's not love, that's self-abandonment. The turning point for me came when I asked myself, would I want someone I love to be treated like this? The answer was no. So why was I allowing it for myself? I stopped texting first. I stopped suggesting plans. I let the silence do its job. And the silence taught me everything. Who was there for me, and who was only there for what I gave. The people who truly cared leaned in. The ones who didn't. They faded. And it was the best thing that ever happened to my peace. From that point forward, I made a rule. I match energy. I don't chase it. Chasing love will never lead you to it. If she's not choosing you freely, she's not yours to hold. The right woman won't need to be reminded of your value. She'll feel it, and she'll respond with her own. So stop begging for attention from someone who only notices you when it's convenient. Walk with your worth. Because the moment you stop chasing what isn't choosing you is the moment you become available to what will. 4. Attention isn't affection. Stop mistaking energy for intimacy. Just because she laughs at your jokes or texts you late at night doesn't mean she cares deeply. Don't confuse fun with connection. Not every spark is a fire. In today's world of rapid texts and short attention spans, it's easy to get pulled into emotional traps that look like closeness, but are just surface-level noise. A late-night call, a flirty reply, a sudden burst of energy from someone who's been cold for weeks. And for a moment, it feels good. But don't let momentary attention trick you into thinking you've built something real. Intimacy isn't made from energy spikes. It's made from emotional consistency. You've been there. She watches all your stories, sends laughing emojis to your jokes. Maybe she flirts when she's bored or lonely. She tells you she misses your vibe, but disappears when you ask how she really feels. You get those random 11 p.m. texts. What are you up to? Or, you crossed my mind. And just like that, you feel seen again. You start believing it means something, that maybe, just maybe, this is heading somewhere. But by morning, it's back to silence. She's not showing up when it counts. She's showing up when it's easy. I knew a girl named Lena who had a magnetic way of making people feel special. For a few minutes at a time, she'd send voice notes out of nowhere, random compliments, emotional check-ins that felt deep, until you realized she was doing the same with 5 other people. I remember once she sent me a long message at midnight, saying how much she valued our connection. We talked for hours. I thought we were turning a page. The next day, I asked her if she wanted to grab dinner and talk more. She ghosted me for 3 days. When she finally responded, it was casual, like nothing had happened. "Oh, sorry, I've been busy." I felt confused, hurt. Then I realized I wasn't in something meaningful. I was just in her rotation. She wasn't looking for connection, she was looking for stimulation, and I had confused the two. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Attention doesn't cost much. Anyone can send a text. Anyone can flirt when they're bored. Energy can feel intense in the moment, but it's often transactional. It's a quick hit of dopamine, not a foundation for love. Real intimacy takes time. It's about showing up when things aren't fun. It's about listening, investing, following through. It's about emotional safety, not just excitement. And when someone only gives you energy in moments that benefit them, they're not building with you. They're using you to fill a temporary void. You need to stop accepting flashes of interest as proof of emotional connection. You're not desperate for stimulation. You're hungry for something real. So raise your standard. Don't let someone breadcrumb you with compliments and playful banter while avoiding depth. You deserve a bond that doesn't vanish when the vibe shifts. Stop settling for late-night attention from someone who wouldn't stand beside you in the daylight. If you keep mistaking energy for intimacy, you'll stay stuck in emotional loops that never go anywhere. You'll chase highs that don't last. You'll waste time decoding mixed signals, hoping that maybe next time it'll mean more. And slowly, your ability to recognize true emotional presence will fade. You'll become addicted to potential, hooked on the dopamine of the maybe, instead of seeking someone who offers certainty, depth, and real care. The moment I stopped reacting to Lena's unpredictable attention, everything changed. One night she sent another one of her messages. "You always calm me down. I don't know what I'd do without you." But this time, I didn't reply. Not out of anger, but out of clarity. I had finally seen the pattern. I wasn't her emotional partner. I was her emotional vending machine. That silence, it gave me space to find peace. And soon, I met someone else, someone who didn't just show up when it was convenient. She asked deep questions. She remembered details. She didn't need to be chased, and she never made me guess. That's when I finally understood what intimacy really feels like. It's calm, consistent, and mutual, not scattered sparks from someone with a lighter in one hand and an exit plan in the other. Don't confuse emotional noise with emotional investment. A message at midnight doesn't mean she's committed. A laugh at your joke doesn't mean she sees your soul. Stop letting temporary energy distract you from the truth. Affection is steady, not sudden. It's not about who shows up when they're bored. It's about who stays when life gets real. Attention can fool you, But real connection? That's felt in silence, presence, and effort. Choose depth over dopamine. Conclusion. These 4 rules aren't just advice, they're your shield against getting played by the wrong women. When you learn to recognize the signs and stand your ground, you protect your time, your heart, and your future. Remember, it's not about changing her. It's about choosing yourself first and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. If you want to keep leveling up your dating game and avoid the traps that hold so many guys back, make sure to watch my other videos. I share real, no BS strategies to help you attract the right women and build powerful relationships. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, stay sharp, and keep owning your worth. The right woman is out there. And now you know how to spot her.